Hi, my name is Zirko, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over a 30-day blueprint on how to drastically improve your SAT score. For context, I was able to improve my SAT score by over 300 points by following this exact plan. Make sure to watch till the end and follow everything I say in this video. I guarantee you, if you follow everything I say in this video for the next 30 days, you will drastically improve your SAT score. Let's get started. Before we start the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below your target SAT score. In this video, I'm going to be going over a 30-day blueprint on how to drastically improve your SAT score. You don't need more time to study for the SAT, you just need a better plan. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over that plan that you're going to follow every week for the next 30 days to improve your SAT score. Your SAT strategy needs these 3 pillars. You need a content master, you need to know what's on the test. Test strategy, you need to learn how to take the SAT, and consistency. You need to practice with a purpose, and you have to practice consistently. You can't just practice one day and then after a week practice again. You have to be consistent with your practice to get the best out of your time. These are all the resources you're going to need for this 30-day plan. For grammar, you need Erica Meltzer grammar book. For reading and writing, you need Erica Meltzer reading and writing book. And then you need Khan Academy, and you need a College Board question bank. I'm going to leave the link to all of these resources in the description down below. The SAT changes structure. Now it's way shorter. The reading and writing session is 24 minutes, the math is 70 minutes, and then there's calculators allowed throughout the math section, and there's a bunch of on-screen tools such as Desmo calculator, the timer, and the flag questions. These tools are so helpful, especially Desmos for the math section. The timer is helpful, it helps you like stay focused on track and stuff like that, but Desmos is so helpful for the math section, and you need to know how to use Desmos. You have to be so familiar with Desmos. Trust me, if you use Desmos and you know the ins and outs of Desmos, your score in the math section will increase drastically. And for the reading and writing section, the passages are shorter, which is, I prefer shorter passages, but it depends on the person. But yeah, basically the SAT is digital, so you have to make sure you're familiar with the digital format of the SAT. Week 1 is diagnostic and setup. Basically, the first thing you want to do in day 1 is you want to take a full length practice test. There are a bunch of practice tests, that official practice tests released by College Board in the Blue Book app. I'm going to leave the link to the Blue Book app in the description. And basically what you want to do is that after you take this test, you want to review all the mistakes you made. And basically all these mistakes, also you want to make a Google Doc where you're going to store all your mistakes. Basically what I want you to do is that once you make a mistake, once you get a question wrong, take a screenshot of the question, put it in the Google Doc, and then try to have an explanation of why you got it wrong. It will help you later on. I will explain more later on. And basically what you want to do is that you kind of want to see your weak sections, like if you're weak in the math section, what specific aspect of the math section are you weak on, and you want to identify like in the reading section if you're weak in certain aspects. But yeah, and then basically this is what you want now. You want to create your study like calendar. Basically you want to put how many hours you want to put towards studying. I would personally recommend 3 to 4 hours a day because it's the summer, and since it's the summer, you have a lot of free time. It depends on people. Some people have jobs, but usually in the summer you have a lot of free time. So for this plan, I recommend putting 3 to 4 hours a day. For the diagnostics, it will probably take you like 1 to 3 days to take the diagnostic and review your mistakes. But after you do that, you can start week 2, kind of week 1. But in the week 2, what you want to do is when you want to go through Khan Academy's personalized practice, and you want to do this for the math section, right? So let me show you guys real quick. As you guys can see, Khan Academy has an official digital SAT practice thing. Basically what I want you to do is that for the math section, for each unit, I want you to complete each unit. So basically if you go on a unit, there's going to be questions, and at the end of the unit there's going to be a unit quiz and test. Basically what I want you to do is that for the week 2, I want you to basically go through all of them. Basically it'll basically like make sure you know the basics. Even if you know it, trust me, still do the lesson because it will help you so much. But yeah, just go over all the lessons and then make sure you do the quiz and the test, and basically try to get a perfect score on the quiz and the test. If you don't get a perfect score, just retake it until you get a perfect score. So do that for week 2. So basically try to get through all these units. Obviously don't do it all at once, like do a unit and then take a break and then you do a unit. Don't do it all at once, but just try to get all these units done. It will help you so much. Basically this is teach you the fundamentals again. Make sure you have a good foundation. If you don't have a good foundation, it'll be bad. So make sure you have a good foundation. So basically do that for the math section, and then after do the same thing for the reading section. So get the Erica book for grammar and reading. I know those books aren't free, so even if you can't afford those books, the Khan Academy English and reading one is still pretty good, so you can still do that. And basically remember the Google Doc with all your mistakes. I want you, for each mistake you make, I want you to write why you were wrong. And basically what you're going to do is that after every 3 days, you're going to go over that doc. You're going to try to answer the questions again, and basically if you get them right, you basically you could remove them from the mistake list. And if you get them wrong, you keep it in the mistake list. So basically, just keep those mistakes, and basically after like 3 days, go back, try to do those problems again. If you get it wrong, then keep it there, and if you get it right, then you can remove it from there. So yeah, this mistake list is very important. It's going to help you make sure to drill in your mistakes and make sure you don't do them in the future. So now this is week 3. So week 3 is after you did all the lessons on the Cat Academy, on the grammar, and now you're familiar with all the stuff. So now you have the foundations down. So now that you have the foundation down, I would say take another SAT test and basically try to simulate test conditions. So like wake up in the morning, act like you're actually taking the test. This will help you avoid anxiety doing the test, because if you're familiar with the test conditions, when you actually take the test, you won't have anxiety. And basically this is where I want you to analyze how long you spend on per question. So basically when you take the test, you're going to know if you ran out of time or not. If you ran out of time, try to see which questions you ran out of time on, and try to understand why you ran out of time if you just didn't understand, and basically try to do better on your next test. And basically also I would say practice guessing strategies. You don't know every question, every answer, so it's important to know how to guess. For guessing, I would say try to eliminate obvious wrong answers first, and then after that do an educational guess. But if you're running out of time and you can't do an educational guess, just pick one letter before you walk in the test room, and then basically pick that for every question you don't know the answer to. Yeah. And then week 4 is basically about try to basically drill in so many question types that you understand the test. For this week, I would say use the College Board question bank. Let me show you guys the College Board question bank. Basically in the College Board question bank, you can get official test questions. Basically, you just go in the College Board question bank, link in the description. You choose SAT, you choose either the reading or the writing section. Then you choose like what specific problems you want, and basically it's going to give you the problem and the answer. Basically what I did for the SAT is that I try to solve as much College Board question bank questions as I could, because these questions are basically the official questions. Basically what the SAT do is that they basically have the similar question, but they just word it differently. So if you do this and you understand everything you do, like you do a lot of them, you're gonna be familiar with the test. When you actually get to the test day, you're gonna get a lot of questions that were familiar. When I did this, when I went to my test, I got a lot of questions that were really familiar that I already did before, thanks to this question bank. So trust me, week 4, do this question bank. So basically, yeah, do this question bank. Make sure you know all your formulas for math. Make sure you know the major formula and grammar rules. Trust me, your reading section score will improve so much with grammar rules. People like me, that English isn't my first language, it's harder to improve in the actual reading section, but the grammar rules that's the easiest place you can improve in the reading section. So make sure you know your grammar rules in the week 4. Make sure you know all the rules and stuff, and basically, and then take another real SAT. Basically, the more SAT you take, the more familiar with you are with the test, and it's going to help with anxiety. Make sure you're prepared, and then make sure you start getting your sleep schedule aligned with the test day. Basically, sleep is very important. So before, like the week before the SAT, make sure you start sleeping early and waking up at near the time you wake up on the test day. This will help you so much not get tired. So yeah, and then this is the common mistakes I would avoid. Stop cramming. Don't cram. The SAT, you can't cram. Some people can, but it's better to have consistent practice instead of cramming. If you cram, you're gonna be stressed and stuff. It doesn't help. So yeah, make sure you practice consistently throughout this 30 days. And then ignore weak spots. I know sometimes it's frustrating when you don't know something and you just skip it over, but trust me, the stuff you're ignoring are going to show up on the test. So make sure you don't ignore any weak spots. Skipping full-length tests. Trust me, you cannot get a good score without taking a practice test. Okay, maybe you can. Some people can, but for the most part, taking full-length practice tests help so much get familiar with the test. So don't skip that. I know it takes a long time, but yeah, you have to put in work to get a good score. You can't just expect to get a good score without putting in the work. Not reviewing your mistakes. This is the one thing I did. I used to not review my mistakes and just like move on. And after I started reviewing my mistakes, my score increased by so much. So I would say make sure you try to review your mistakes. Alright, thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you look in the description for all related links. Subscribe for daily tips, like, comment down below your target score, and also join my Discord in the description, where we can you can ask me any questions and we just talk about anything that's school related. See you guys in the next video. Peace.